Okay, guys. So now we'll continue with our topic human genetics, right? So far, I have given you explanation with respect to 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. Okay. So we are reading this basics or class 11th anthropology so that we can actually understand our advanced level ka syllabus. Okay. So 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, I would consider that you are not going to get a lot of question in civil services from 1.4. 1.5, 1.6, yes, you are going to get question. Let me just put it into archaeological anthropology, okay, because you generally get questions on the basis of fossil evidences and then maybe on the pyramid. 1.5 is not at all difficult. 1.4 is also easy. 1.6 only seems to us that it's quite difficult because of the arguments with respect to their discoveries and paleontologists discussions with respect to those fossils. Okay, I do not think so. Once you people will study the basics one, जो मैंने आप लोगों को explain करा था कि उसमें से आप लोगों को note making करनी है, उसके बाद कोई ऐसा issue होगा नहीं. Okay, now we are dealing with 9.1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I would say 9.5 is quite interesting. It's all about race and racism. It's not at all biological part. And then you have 9.6. Basically, 9.1, 2, 3, 4 and 9.6 is dealing with your biological anthropology. Okay, and we generally get question also from these topics. Yes, again 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4 से ज़्यादातर questions आते हैं and 9.6 is again easy for all of us. So now when we are dealing with human genetics, you should be knowing some of this topic with respect to your syllabus. Okay, so do you people have your syllabus with you? Okay, open it out. Those who can see it from the syllabus, it's fine. Otherwise, you would see that your topic 1, that is 9.1, that is dealing with human genetics. Okay, that is dealing with human genetics. All right, all one aspirants. So you are going to understand methods for study. This is your first topic of genetic principles in man family study. That is what pedigree analysis. So you are getting question on pedigree analysis, or you are going to get question on twin study, foster child, co-twin method, cytogenetic method, chromosomal or karyotype analysis, biochemical methods, okay, immunological methods, then DNA. अब DNA टेक्नोलॉजी रिकॉम्बिनेंट टेक्नोलॉजी काफी टाइम से रिपीटेड रहता है. ओके, सो सबसे पहला टिप जो मैं आपको को दूंगी, व्हाट यू पीपल हैव टू डू विद रिस्पेक्ट टू बायोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, do not leave any subtopic of biological path. You do have to make short notes for 150 words on these subtopics. So if you people have done with respect to 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 and this part, you are done with your factual information. Okay, this is your paper 1, and in paper 2, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and there is one more 2 topics, 1.7 and 1.8. So ये सारे facts based है. Okay, ये सारे facts based है. But we are right now not discussing the syllabus. We are discussing human genetics. All right. So that's what we need to know. Acha, abhi what I am doing right now. So those who are taking my classes very first time, there are some students जिन्होंने आज से ही classes start करी होगी. Okay, so do not get disturbed that how you will to understand and make the notes, because this is here. We are not even have started the syllabus. I am just explaining the basics part. Okay, so main focus has to be on your readings. You will have to do on your readings. ठीक है? So अभी हम क्या discuss कर रहे हैं? We are discussing Keep writing with me. Human genetics. So here, most important part which we need to have clarity on, that is on gene. Okay, that is on gene. And the basic nature, the basic, I would say, nature of a gene was very first explained to us by Gregor Mendelian. He was an Austrian monk. Okay, so you would see the basic nature of a gene was explained by Australian monk Gregor Mendel. This information you will write. So I believe between 1856 to 1868, I can be wrong with this date ka period, but I think it was 1856 to 1868. Okay. He experimented very famous research or experiment on a pea plant. Yes, am I visible to all of you, online aspirants? Yeah. If in case I'm writing on the boards and screen or webcam is not visible, then please do inform me, use your mic and let me know about it. Okay? Kritika, this is your first class, right? Neha, Pratap, Upender. So right now I'm just explaining the basics wala part. You need to cover other parts. So पहले वाले explain करें bio वाला part. I think there are 2 or 3 lectures on it. You cover it that only. Don't cover all lectures because no problem. There will be no issues. I would be explaining it in advance. Okay. Up, I would say that Gregor Mendel is can be our founding fathers of genetics. Although his work got famous only after the contribution of other scientists. Okay, so after that you will see in 1900. Okay, in 1900 we have got a whole new science called genetics. पहले हमारे पास ऐसा कोई डिसिप्लिन नहीं था. ओके, सो बैट्सर coined the term 1908. ये भी लिखोगे. Now you must write a little definition in your basic class that what is genetics. Okay, you can write a question, what is genetics? So you can say genetic is the branch of science genetics is the branch of science which deals with the study of inheritance of unit. ये बहुत important है, which deals with the inheritance unit. Inheritance of a unit. Factor called gene. Where these genes are present? These genes are present inside the nucleus in the form of DNA in every cell. ठीक है? We all are made up of different cells. Okay? So let's just say this is your cell and this is here, you can say it's a nucleus, and here it is present. Okay? DNA is present here in the form of DNA. आज तो हमको we don't find it a new word like when I'm telling DNA, तो आप लोगों में से बहुत सारे लोगों को already पता होगा what is DNA. Okay, online students, please do understand this. Okay, अब पहले, but when Mendel was conducting a research, so we did not know there was some called gene. It was he said a factor. Okay, up what we are interested in, I'm not here teaching biology to anyone. I'm simply teaching anthropology, and this is something most of the science students, students who had some basic understanding of bio, they get mistake with. So they start reading it as if you people are doing your optional for bio. What we are interested in, we are just trying to know that how do we have variations. Okay, तो लिखो ये वाला point. For us, we are not basically getting to get in too deeper with respect to gene study, RNA, DNA, right? We are going to have a discussion on it definitely, but we just have to know that how genes are working among humans. How do they transmit the traits from one generation to the next? Okay, so when we are understanding these genes, we are understanding how genes are working in the transmission of the traits. From one generation to next. And this mechanism explaining us the similarities and differences between parents and progeny. Okay? So let's just say we are having parent. So in our family marriage kinship, this denotes mating or marriage. Okay. What is XY-XX? Gametes, sex chromosomes. Right? One is for, this is representing female, this is representing male. Okay. Recombination happen. Now, we are going to see that there will be some similarity between, okay, XY और XX. मतलब फीमेल के भी कुछ ट्रेट होंगे बच्चे में, मेल के भी होंगे, दोनों होंगे, राइट? सो वी गेट सम ट्रेट्स ऐसे समझ रहे हैं, बहुत सिंपल बेसिक लैंग्वेज में. I have some traits which I have got from my father, some from my mother, and some they were not even there, not visible. For example, let's just say my father height is 5'5", my mother height is 5'2". Okay, normal, but I am 6'2". How come this possible? How come it happened? We are trying to understand the variations, the traits. Okay, so we are going to see. चलो ये जो next हमारा offspring है या जो progeny है, उसमें पेरेंट्स से सिमिलैरिटीज है तो कैसे आ गई, डिफरेंसेस है तो कैसे आ गई. बिकॉज एंथ्रोपोलॉजी इज द स्टडी ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी एंड आर्गुइंग दैट डाइवर्सिटी इज नेचुरल एंड वी शुड रिस्पेक्ट डाइवर्सिटी. Though we are dealing here with human genetics, but definitely we are learning it because of our aim, or you can say because of anthropology goal. And what is that anthropology goal? To serve humanity. The major problem in this world, it is just because of this genetical changes. You know, we all have different DNAs. It's just because of different DNAs we look different. Now, on that differences, on that diversity, we are having ethnocentrism, we are having racism. That is not good for world to get sustained. So, our aim to read human genetics is to understand the principles of hereditary or variation of genes. Okay, and what we are doing? So, what we are doing? Why are we reading this? Batao, deals with the principles of deals with the principles of hereditary okay or variation of genes. And we are dealing here to understand, let's just say, how this DNA or genes are working in pedigree analysis, to in studies in understanding the nature of inheritance, to understand process like mutation, hybridization, recombination, gene flow, migration. So all this isolation we are understanding. So our aim is to understand this. Okay. So जब भी हम अपने genetics की बात करते हैं, we need to know our aim. Okay. So we are understanding this genetics because it is used in pedigree analysis. Okay, to in studies, in understanding the nature of inheritance. Okay, and then we are trying to understand the process of natural select. You can say modern synthetic theory. Okay. We do have lot many branches of many branches. Mendelian genetic is one, population genetic is another one. Keep writing. Cytogenetics is one. Keep writing. Jaldi say. I'm not going to tell all this. Okay, I have to read SCERT as well. Development genetics भी है, cytogenetics भी है, molecular genetics भी है. So we have lot many branches in human genetics. Okay. Now you think, why are we reading human genetics in anthropology? always remember, we are not here dealing with bio. Major problem, most of the teachers, what they are doing, in the name of these topics, they are teaching you medicines. मेडिसिन लेवल का बायो पढ़ा रहे हैं, जो कि रिक्वायर्ड ही नहीं है. Our goal is clear. What is our goal? To clear UPSC. Civil services. For anthropology we are dealing it. And then you need to understand that is it okay? I mean, there is no problem if UPSC is framing such questions. By the way, you need to know that in social cultural anthropology, the topic which are mentioned, it's basic. But the way they are asking question, it's not basic, it's not very direct. It is of sociological level. So we need to know that why are we reading. So the point here is the goal of anthropology is to have a holistic development of humanity. Okay. So when we are actually dealing with human genetics, what we are understanding? The inheritance and the genetic background. ठीक है. तो जब let's just say हम यहाँ पे inheritance पढ़ रहे हैं, and we do have understanding on genetic background. Okay. अब ये हम अप्लाई करेंगे किस पे? ह्यूमंस पे. ऑफ डिजीजेस एंड एबनॉर्मल ट्रेट्स. ठीक है. सो इनहेरिटेंस एंड जेनेटिक बैकग्राउंड. Traits in humans. Okay. It helps to understand mechanism for the survival of humans. Otherwise, like other species of Homo, we would have been extinct. But you can see that humans are not extincting और कहीं ना कहीं evolve भी कर रहे हैं. Because when you are understanding this, it can help us to have treatment. We can go for genetic counseling. And this would help that in a way that we are doing for populations in general, for humans' welfare. That is why we are having this many evolving policies as well. And we are getting lot many discoveries on this. समझ में आया? Now let's see and read carefully what SERT is saying. So genetics, heredity and variation, which we have got from our parents, and how we have got variations. Okay. It is written lot of like very simple word, Greek word gen, which means to generate or to grow. लिखते रहो ये point. Very quickly make pointers on this so that it should be there in your notes only. The term was coined by William Bateson. Human heredity and variation. It is found that offspring is resemble their parents, individual of a particular human population. So some similarities and differences जो मैंने भी explain कर दिया आप लोगों को. Some inherent characters of humans are biologically transmitted from generation to generation. Human genetics builds the principle explaining similarities between parents and the offspring and the differences. Inheritance involves the activity of distinct functional unit. And what is that? Genes. Inheritance involves the activity of a distinct function unit known as genes, which are transported from parents to the individuals. You can say that. So the character of trait denotes morphological, anatomical, physiological feature of an organism. Okay. And later on, you people can just write the definition. Now, you people can just make two key terms. One is heredity. From we are getting resemblance, that is from parents, heredity. Variation, differ from their parents. Okay. But the variation which brought about by external factors, ये line लिखेंगे, are called non-heritable. They are not transmitted. Variation is a rule of nature and variability is the characteristics of all living organisms. It was explained to us by Darwin, and he has proved that through adaptive radiation. So what you people have to do? Okay, why are we reading genes? To understand two components. One is inheritance. Then variation. Inheritance, resemblance, variation, differences. Okay, so this is what we are reading. हाँ, एक और लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पे वेरिएशंस में नॉन हेरिटेबल वेरिएशंस. ओके, नॉन हेरिटेबल वेरिएशंस. ओके, एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स, इन्वायरमेंट. एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स लिख दो, इन्वायरमेंट लिख दो. Now do write down Gregor Mendel. I mean, although I have explained, now you can just go through the SCERT. So Gregor Mendelian was the first one who conducted a research on pea plant and explained this theory. Was carried out through certain factors. आज हमको पता है genes. So genes are the hereditary unit of an organism. In an organism, the hereditary traits transmitted from parents to offspring. So the genes have three major functions. ये भी आप लोग notes में जरूर लिख लेंगे. They have the ability of self-duplication and are hereditary in nature. They are susceptible to an occasional change by way of mutation. They carry all the information essential to the functions of a cell. So where these genes are located? On the chromosomes in both male and female gametes. तो कहाँ पे है? सेक्स सेल पे, gametes. ठीक है, they are located on the chromosomes in both male and female gametes. So male XY, XX. Chromosomes carry and transmit the hereditary traits. The chromosome itself is formed of two chemical substances, dioxyribonolic राइबोन्यूक्लिक एसिड, अगर हम इसमें 2 स्ट्रैंड हटा लेते हैं तो ये हो जाता है आरएनए, राइबोन्यूक्लिक एसिड। और यहाँ पे 2 स्ट्रैंड आ गया तो डाइऑक्साइड, मतलब इसमें तो आपको ऐसे सिर्फ याद करना है कि यहाँ पे अगर जब 2 स्ट्रैंड आ गया तो हम यहाँ पे डीएनए की बात कर रहे हैं और यहाँ पे हम आरएनए की बात कर रहे हैं। ओके, अब ये वाला जो चैप्टर है आपका, द जीन्स बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ सेल, ये बेसिकली आपके सिलेबस में है 1.7 में। ओके, सो व्हेन वी वुड बी डिस्कसिंग सिलेबस, मतलब जब हमारा सिलेबस स्टार्ट होगा, सो आफ्टर 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 वी हैव 1.7. Okay, and then we have social cultural part. Okay, so this is what we have to know. We'll need to go the way we are having the syllabus. मतलब ये तो हम फिर बाद में खैर डिस्कस करेंगे that how you people want. There are too many ways. एक तो हम ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं कि I would be completing पहले the basics of, जैसे अभी हमने बेसिक्स कंप्लीट कर लिया, जब हम या सोशल वाले पार्ट में कितना कवर किया था, बेसिक्स ऑफ सोशल कल्चर पार्ट में, फिर बताइएगा। हाँ, हाउ मेनी टॉपिक्स वी हैव कवर्ड? हम्म हम्म and characteristics of parents also completed 1.5. 1.6 वो भी कंप्लीट कर लिया था। हाँ, बट वी, अच्छा ठीक है, ओके। Up now, what I wanted to tell here, to understand the chromosomes, DNA, RNA, we need to understand 1.7. तो साइड में हम कहीं लिख देंगे 1.7 here. So when I would be explaining the advanced part, first of all I will explain all of you after 1.5, या फिर जो साइड से बायो चलेगा, that how cells are the basic unit of life, okay, and then how about cellular level पे क्या चीजें हैं, right, and then we need to understand the definition, cell structure. तो जब हम cell structure करेंगे then we would be having the clarity. But जैसे what I would say that maybe I would say that yes, in your social cultural part utna basic will not help, but bio mein it will help. Okay, so you should be knowing when what is the cell, where it is, right, what is cell membrane, what is nucleus, what is ER, what is cytoplasm, what is GA, Golgi apparatus, राइबोसोम क्या है, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया क्या है, डीएनए किस जगह है, सो ये थोड़ा सा हमको समझना है, बट यस 1.7 भी इज गोइंग टू, इट इज लाइक द बेस। तो बहुत टाइम से इट्स लाइक मोर देन मेनी ईयर्स वी आर नॉट गेटिंग क्वेश्चन 1.4 एंड 1.5, बट फिर भी हमको पढ़ना पड़ेगा। ओके, सो वी नो दैट सेल्स आर द फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ, थोड़ा सा लिख सकते हैं। ओके, जस्ट गिविंग यू बेसिक्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बिकॉज यहाँ पे हमारा सीधा फिर ग्रेगर मेंडेलियन की थ्योरी आ गई है। ओके, सो आई एम जस्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग, assuming that most of the aspirants do not know even the basics of biology. तो एक पॉइंट तो ये लिखो, आप एक डेफिनेशन ही, वो एक हेडिंग ही डाल दो, सेल। तो व्हाट इज सेल? राइट डाउन, डिफाइंड एज द स्मॉलेस्ट बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ, responsible for all life process. Side में you people just can make diagram, small diagram you people can make, right, so you do not have to go so like perfect, but ठीक है, थोड़ा सा आप बनाने की कोशिश करो यहाँ पे, right, then just write here कुछ कुछ, जैसे you can just write down cell membrane, right, yeah, just little bit, you can just make the organelles, this is like nucleus, okay, यहाँ पे साइटोप्लाज्म, जैसे आपको इसको और या तो आप थोड़ा बहुत इसमें आप बात कर सकते हैं. Just write down the name, Golgi apparatus. Okay, so DNA. Then you can just write. फिर उसके बाद उसको आप basically explain कर सकते हो. So this is like here इस part को nucleus कर दो. Yeah, just write down. Endoplasmatic reticulum. Okay, cell membrane. Now you can write little bit more here only, that cells are the structural, functional and biological units of all living organism. So यहाँ पे आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ लिखेंगे structural, functional, right? Biological unit of all living beings. Now what is the characteristics of a cell which you people have to understand? Replication. A cell can replicate itself independently. इसीलिए they are known as, also known as building block of life. देखो, लिख लिया independently. Online aspirants, I can't see your chat. Yeah, now I can. All of you, Kritika, Nidhi, Pratap, Upender, are you all understanding? I'm not at all going in the pace. And bio का सबसे important part क्या है? You people just have to get the notes that I would be providing. You will need to learn it. So you just have to have little basic understanding. I'm repeating myself, even though you're not coming from science background, you have never had studied bio, you will be able to learn it. As it is for your GS3, you need to have little bit of biology, तो उतना ही bio है. Okay, so we do not have to go so deeper. It's just like I am making a base for all of you. That is why मैं यहाँ पे कहीं कहीं रुक के आप लोगों को थोड़ा explain कर रही हूँ. Kritika, are you able to understand? See, you people have to tell me, specifically online aspirants and those who are taking recorded lectures. You need to tell me कि मैम यहाँ पे clarity है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा problem है, and write a mail to me so that I can explain that accordingly to all of you. Okay? Online aspirants, because see, offline aspirants are right in front of me, so I can see their faces, I can understand what is going on. With online, you people are not even opening your camera, so for me it is definitely difficult and would be wrong on your part. अगर आप लोग मुझे बताओगे ही नहीं, how will I help? For example, there were some students, उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, उनको समझ में आ रहा है, बट उनको कोई डाउट्स भी होता है, तो दे फील, आई डो नॉट नो, दे फील फियर, दे फील फ्राइटेंड टू आस्क कि मैं मुझे ही नहीं आ रहा है, क्लास में सबको आ रहा है. पहले तो ये फीलिंग यू पीपल हैव टू अवॉइड. They have not paid for your school, like your fee. You have paid, you need to have understanding. Okay, तो ये एक पॉइंट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू एक्सप्लेन टू ऑल ऑफ यू. ठीक है, सो हमने क्या समझ लिया? सेल. लेट्स कम बैक टू सेल. इंडिपेंडेंटली रेप्लिकेट करते हैं, बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक ऑफ अ लाइफ है. ठीक है, अब ये जो सेल है, यहाँ पे आपके पास एक फ्लूइड होता है. राइट डाउन. ईच सेल कंटेन्स अ फ्लूइड कॉल्ड साइटोप्लाज्म. Each cell contains a fluid called cytoplasm. अब उसको लिखो, closed by a cell membrane. It is like, it is, what is the role of a membrane? It is like giving you a close. ठीक है, हाँ. हाँ 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 हाँ. तो साइटोप्लाज्म में प्लाज्मा, कोई प्लाज्मा ले दिखेगा, साइटोप्लाज्म. तो आपको जब एक बारी आप इसको पिक्चर्स में देखोगे ना, तब आपको ज़्यादा क्लैरिटी आएगी। डोंट गेट कन्फ्यूज्ड अभी। अभी तो जस्ट क्योंकि उसमें एक ही पैराग्राफ है, तो आई एम जस्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट। बट व्हेन आई वुड बी एक्सप्लेनिंग द इसमें, देन आई विल बी शोइंग इट टू यू। यू हैव नेवर सीन सेल? No? Okay then. Okay, just a moment. Let me just open them. But you told me that you are from science background. No, you're not. Okay. Then just wait. So see, it is like you people need to know the pictures. Okay? Without pictures, ये सारे topics ऐसे clear नहीं होते हैं. But so I'm just trying to show you that. Genetics is the study of genes. और gene क्या है? Yeah, genes is like the factor. मतलब उसमें alleles हैं, ये सारी चीजें, unit है, basic unit, जिससे हमको ये पता लगता है that how we are having resemblance. So genes क्या है? ये बहुत basic है. I am just showing you so that you don't get confused कि हमको कैसे समझ में आएगा. Let me just show you the little bit on it. Okay? Other students, you people have to be like little. Just have little patience. See, Rani, right? Rani, right? Shiri. See, this is here. I would be explaining everything in detail. Okay. Right now, I'm just showing you a little bit. Okay. So it is like we are human, all living organism. Here I am presenting human. Okay. So we all are made up of different types of cells. Basically, two types: somatic and sex cells. Okay, gametes. सोमैटिक एंड सेक्सुअल, ऑटोसोमल, ये सारा अभी हम पढ़ेंगे, राइट? अभी आपको समझना दो तरीके के सेल्स हैं, सोमैटिक एंड गैमेट, सेक्सुअल. ओके, अब ये जो हमारे सेल्स हैं, यू जस्ट डोंट हैव टू राइट. ओके, अब थोड़ा सा समझ लो इसको, पिक्चर्स को, सो दैट यू विल नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज. ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म इज मेड अप ऑफ cells. Okay, now cells are having nucleus. हम एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में इंटरेस्टेड इन वेरिएशन एंड इनहेरिटेंस, क्या हम कैसे अपने पेरेंट्स से के जैसे लग रहे हैं और डिफरेंट है. हमारा रोल ये नहीं है कि हम बायोलॉजी पढ़ेंगे, इसकी पूरी एनाटॉमी पढ़ेंगे लाइक बायो स्टूडेंट. वी आर वेरी क्लियर. Only those mechanism which is helping us to understand diversity and variation, we are interested in that. Okay, so here we do have nucleus. न्यूक्लियस में हमारे पास एक थ्रेड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है. ओके, यहाँ पे जैसे आपको दिख रहा है ना, दिस, तो ऐसे समझो. ओके, ये क्या है? क्रोमोसोम. अब क्रोमोसोम्स पता है थोड़ा बहुत. हाउ मेनी क्रोमोसोम्स वी आर हैविंग? हाउ मेनी क्रोमोसोम्स वी आर हैविंग ऑल एन एस्पिरेंट्स? नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स. मैनी क्या मतलब होता है? नंबर बताओ. 23 पेयर. ओके, उसमें से सेक्स क्रोमोसोम्स कौन से होते हैं? Why it is in pair? Can anyone tell me? Because we are getting from both parents ना. Okay? So ये थोड़ा सा भी आप लोगों का मुझे लगता है बेसिक्स बिल्कुल भी नहीं है इसमें, बट आई वुड बी एक्सप्लेनिंग, डोंट वरी. ये हमारा क्रोमोसोम्स है, ठीक है. यहाँ पे हमारे ये डीएनए है. इसको अगर आप ओपन कर दोगे तो ये 6 फीट तक चला जाएगा. यहाँ पे ये इंफॉर्मेशन है जो आप यहाँ पे इस डीएनए में वी हैव दिस जीन यूनिट ट्रेट्स, ठीक है. तो हम इस तरीके से ओपन करेंगे. And as I have said, we are interested in inheritance. Why we are having pair? By we have two sex cells involving in reproduction, ova and sperm. Egg cells है, एक तो आपका फीमेल एग एंड द स्पर्म, राइट. तो दो लोगों के ट्रेट्स आएंगे ना, ऐसे समझो बहुत बेसिक लैंग्वेज में. I am going to get traits of two genders, let's just say male and female. Okay. So this is what you will see here: inheritance from parents. Okay. Then what is traits? A trait may be single feature or quantifiable measurement of an organism. Is the final product of many molecular and biochemical process. In most cases, information starts with DNA traveling to RNA. DNA RNA को message देता है finally to protein synthesis, and this is how it works. But traits क्या? For example, आपके hair color, आपके eye color, this and that. जो भी अभी हम रेगर मेंडेलियन का पढ़ेंगे, ये मेंडेलियन थ्योरी आ रहा था एक्चुअली आपके SCERT में, बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू टच ऑन दीज टॉपिक्स एज वेल. ओके. सो यहां तक ये ट्रेट्स हुआ. फिर व्हाट इज जीएनएम? जीनोम इज एन ऑर्गेनिज्म ऑफ कंप्लीट सेट ऑफ डीएनए, राइट. अब ये सारे अब डीएनए मॉलिक्यूल्स क्या है? देखो, दो स्ट्रैंड होते हैं, डबल हेलिक्स और डीएनए मॉलिक्यूल्स, उसमें ये पेयर होते हैं एटी सीजी. ये सब हमको थोड़ा सा डीपर जाना होगा. ओके. अब अगर मैं ये तुमको जैसे ये जीन की बात करूं, जैसे यू आर वेरी कंफ्यूज बिकॉज लाइक यू नो यू डोंट हैव ये जैसे साइंस की बैकग्राउंड की जरूरत भी नहीं है. ओके. स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली यू विल गेट इट. A gene is a locus or a region of DNA which is made up of nucleotides and is the molecular unit of heredity. अब ये जो आपने अभी यहाँ पे देखा था, ओके, न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स बेसिक यूनिट, इसको और ओपन करेंगे तो हम इसको पूरा बताएंगे, राइट. सो न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स, ये आपका क्रोमोसोम है. अब इसको मैं अगर ओपन कर रही हूं तो ये थ्रेड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर बन जाएगा. ऐसे इसे ये कंडेंस्ड है. तो पहले हमारे यहाँ जो डीएनए इंफॉर्मेशन इट्स कंडेंस्ड. ओके, इट इज हियर. नाउ आई एम ओपनिंग इट हियर. अभी मैं बहुत ज्यादा डीप नहीं जा सकती हूँ, सो लेट मी जस्ट लिटिल बिट एक्सप्लेन यू द सेल. ओके. वी आर इंटरेस्टेड इन एनिमल सेल. This is a basic structure of cell. Here we are discussing two genetic and evolutionary principles. Okay. I would be explaining lot many things. So what is DNA? What is prokaryotes? What is eukaryotes? So we have evolved from simple cell to multicellular organisms. Although मैंने बहुत डीपर आप लोगों को ये सब समझाया हुआ है, it is not going to come. Don't worry. Different cells, वी आर हैविंग, इसको आप बॉडी सेल्स भी कहते हैं, मैंने कहा ना 2 टाइप, ब्रेन सेल्स, लिवर सेल्स, मसल सेल्स, ब्लड सेल्स, intestinal cells. Okay, then your gametes, somatic cells, your gametes, haploid, diploid. Okay, sex number. So gametes क्या है? In male, sperm, pollen, females, always haploid, produced by meiosis. So mitosis and meiosis हम discuss करेंगे, cell division. This is your anatomy of a cell. Okay, अब ये देखो, DNA contains 4 bases, adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. इसको और ओपन अगर हम करेंगे तो okay. So this is all what I wanted to explain. Basically, we are only interested in this DNA structure. Okay. So guanine, cytosine, thymine, and adenine. So this is your backbone. Okay. So the base pair. इसको आप ये देखें, ये base pair and all. Okay. अभी थोड़ा सा समझ में आया? Nucleotide structure. We are going to get so deep into all this part. Okay. What is DNA? Then what is RNA? तो DNA और RNA में क्या सिमिलैरिटी है, क्या डिफरेंसेस है? ओके, what is DNA replication? All this part would come. I hope now you people have got little idea on 1.7. Okay, so all I just want to tell, okay, 1.7b we are going to read in a basics, very basics. Okay, and see, generally what I do, because I am going to teach in a very anthropological context, and though I would be also teaching in a very deeper manner, but those who are having lot of issues in bio, बिल्कुल भी concepts नहीं है, आ नहीं रहा, उसके बाद what I would be doing, I would be giving you बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, जो GS3 का पार्ट का आपका सिलेबस है जिसमें बायो इन्वॉल्व है. So one bio teacher can take your 2 or 3 extra classes. Okay, so once I will complete your biological anthropology, right? Because see, for instance, you are having this many doubts. There are not many students who are not having, but for me, each and every students are important. So I will explain everything. But then, if you require a lot of understanding, so what we do, then you will get another faculty of bio ka, okay, and then they would be explaining everything in so deep. Okay, what is cell structure? But आपको 1.7 जब आप पढ़ोगे ना, कोई डाउट नहीं होगा, जैसे आपने अभी 1.7 पढ़ा नहीं है. Okay, so that is why in anthropology you are getting into this part. This clear? Shall I now begin? Shall I now begin, guys? Yeah. Now please write down Mendelian genetics. Okay, I'm just giving you a little definition on it. Before we read Mendel's law of inheritance, let me just explain to all of you on my own, then we can have a quick reading on it. Okay, please write down. Mendel proposed that something was being stably passed down unchanged from parent to offspring. Don't worry, मैं अभी आपको सिर्फ explain कर रही हूँ. I would be reading it. तो पहला जो पॉइंट लिखेंगे वो आप ये लिखेंगे. Now write down. Mendel proposed that something. I'm going super slow because one of the students who she could not write anything, she was just telling me this. So I'm going very super slow. Mendel proposed that something was being stably passed down comma unchanged from parent to offspring through the gametes. What is gamete? Sai. Shri. What is gamete? Abhi I have explained. What is gametes? Not present in the class, na? I would do. What is gametes, online students? How many types of cells we are having? Arey, I'm not asking chromosome. What is gametes? Tell me, Pratap, Nidhi, Kritika. Yes, yes, yes. Two types, right? So gametes are they are the sex cell. Okay? We are interested in we are interested in knowing the variations now and the differences through the gametes. देखो over successive generations. Full stop. Over successive generations. Full stop. He called these things as factors. उन्होंने उस वक्त जीन नहीं कहा था. He called these things as factors. Okay, factors को inverted comma में लिख लिया. I'm repeating again. Mendel proposed that something was being stably passed down, comma, unchanged from parent to offspring through the gametes, comma, over successive generations. ठीक है? Full stop. He called these things as factors. Next point. Now we call the factors as genes. Now we call the factors as genes. You don't have to worry when I would be teaching advanced वाला. So basic cells मैं बहुत deep पढ़ाती हूँ. आपको कोई confusion नहीं होगा. Genes, comma, therefore are the units of inheritance. Genes, comma, therefore, comma, are the units of inheritance. Full stop. They contain the information that is required to express a particular trait in an organism. Next point. The factors are known as gene, where on chromosomes The factors are known as genes on chromosomes regulating the characters are called genotype, like genomes. जो आपका जीन्स है, ऐसे समझ लो जो आपके इंटरनल सेल्स का मैकेनिज्म है, जो आपके क्रोमोसोम्स है, 23 पेयर. Okay, so genes. So you can say that on chromosomes regulating the characters are called the genotype, and the physical expression of the characters is called phenotype. Okay, give me 2 minutes. Last time is 150, na? I just forgot. So this is what we are trying to understand, and I think I have given a little dictation on this, right? Now please write down Mendelian genetics, little background. So Mendel is the one who had given us the mechanisms of inheritance and variation. ठीक है? Mechanisms. Now write down Mendelian law. The independent segregation the independent segregation and recombination of dominant and recessive characters यहीं से लिख देना recombination of dominant and recessive characters constitute the cornerstone of the modern science of genetics. Constitute the cornerstone of the modern science of genetics. Now write down one point. Facts आप इसको bracket में लिख सकते हो. So Mendel's law of inheritance remained a long ignored. Okay. It received attention in 1900 only, when other scientists rediscovered it. Okay. तो साइड में कहीं लिख सकते हैं आप. Today his laws are considered very important and applicable, but then when we are going to discuss in advance, so there are a lot many other things also. Okay. Though we do not have much of time, I would be reading from SCERT and then tomorrow I would be explaining it again. So this is Mendel's law of inheritance. Okay. So the father of genetics was born in North Moravia. He began series of experiments to reveal the basic principles of genetics. Experiment किया इन्होंने Garden P as regarded as the great landmark in the study of genetics. अब यहाँ पे इन्होंने क्या किया था? उन्होंने Mendel studied the inheritance of 7 contrasting traits in pea plants. Color, size, this and that, वो भी हम देखेंगे. और उन्होंने two forms and they have taken what he has taken 2 forms. Okay. For example, एक प्लांट का उन्होंने हाइट ज्यादा लिया, तो एक प्लांट का हाइट उन्होंने कम लिया 2. ओके. तो और यहाँ पे ट्रेट कौन सी है? हाइट. और हाइट के फॉर्म्स कितने हैं? 2. ओके. 2 फॉर्म्स. Another example you can take color of pea pods. Let's just say little yellow. तो ट्रेट कौन सा है? कलर. ठीक है. So the plants have either tall और short form. Mendel क्रॉस ब्रेड प्योर प्लांट्स, इन दोनों को लेट से क्रॉस ब्रीड कर दिया. Mendel क्रॉस ब्रेड प्योर strains of tall and short plants. Recombination, okay? Their offspring were all tall in the first generation. तो ये जो जनरेशन हमारी पहले आई उसमें सारे के सारे प्लांट टॉल थे F1 जनरेशन में. यहाँ पे तो दो फॉर्म्स है, एक का हाइट बड़ा है, एक का हाइट कम है, ठीक है, शॉर्ट एंड टॉल. यहाँ तक तो समझ में आ गया, राइट? So Mendel crossbred pure strains of tall and short plants. Their offsprings were all tall in the first generation. उसको F1 कर दिया. Mendel then interpret the plants of F1 generation to produce the F2 generation. अब जो F1 generations में आए उनको करा तो यहाँ पे तो हमारे पास सारे के सारे टॉल ही हैं, तो लगना तो चाहिए कि अब सिर्फ टॉल्स ही आएंगे, ठीक है. To produce F2 generation, in this generation, short plants reappeared. समझ में आया? So one short plant for every 3 tall ones. Okay? So I am taking both of them. हाँ? अब जो मेरा F1 generation आया उसमें I am having only tall plants. When I crossbred them, तो tall भी था, short भी था. F1 जनरेशन में tall आया. अब F2 जनरेशन में what am I doing? इन दोनों को ब्रीड किया. ओके, तो 3:1, मतलब कि कुछ ट्रेट्स रिसेसिव ट्रेट्स थे. तो जब हमारा फर्स्ट जनरेशन से इन F1 जनरेशन वी हैव गॉट डोमिनेंट ट्रेट्स, एंड व्हाट आर द डोमिनेंट जो एक्सप्रेस्ड हो गए टॉलर हाइट. लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं था कि शॉर्ट ट्रेट्स नहीं थे, वो थे बट वो अपीयर्ड नहीं हुए थे इन F1, बट F2 में अपीयर्ड हो गए. ओके, अभी इसको और डीपर वे में पढ़ेंगे बाद में. So from similar results with other 6 traits, Mendel concluded that although a dominant form could mask the other form in hybrid, okay, the recessive was not destroyed. तो आपके अंदर वो एलील है अभी. Okay, so recessive traits would appear in unaltered form in later generations because genetic traits were inherited as discrete units. Mendel discovered that heredity is determined by discrete particles or units. So these particles or units are known as genes. The genes are located in the chromosomes. Chromosomes are arranged in pairs, 23 pairs. Humans have 46 chromosomes arranged in 23 pairs. One in each pair from the father and other from the mother. Okay? So Mendelian genetics is based on 2 laws. Laws of segregation, अलग अलग segregate रहेंगे, and law of independent assortment. So ऐसा नहीं है कि X, Y मिलके कुछ हो जाएगा. ओके, इंडिपेंडेंट दोनों ट्रेट्स रहेंगे और अपने आप अपना अपना काम करेंगे. इंडिपेंडेंट असॉर्टमेंट, इसको हम बाद में अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे. तो द लॉ ऑफ सेग्रीगेशन स्टेट्स दैट अलील्स क्या होती है, वो यू कैन से डीएनए को और हम क्लोज करते तो अलील्स, दैट यूनिट ट्रेट्स. ओके, सो अलील्स I will explain. Okay, so that alleles, the unit of heredity, exist within the individuals in pairs. Okay, the pairs are segregated during the production of gametes. Segregate हो जाएंगे. Okay, although इसमें आपके पास दूसरे भी हैं, नॉन जेनेटिक ट्रेट्स भी हैं. जैसे आपने व्हाइट और पिंक लिया, तो व्हाइट और पिंक ही होना, सॉरी रेड एंड व्हाइट लिया कलर. ओके, तो रेड एंड व्हाइट ही होना चाहिए था, लेकिन जब आप एडवांस पढ़ोगे तो ऐसा है कि पिंक भी है कहीं, तो वो नॉन मेंडेलियन ट्रेट्स हो गए. अभी यहाँ पे नहीं है, दैट वी विल रीड लेटर ऑन. ओके, so the law of segregation states that allele, the unit of heredity, exists within the individual in pairs, so the pairs are segregated during the production of gametes, so that a gamete has only one pair. And law of independent assortment states that the separation of one pair of gene does not influence the separation of other pair of genes. Okay, so gene pairs on the set of homologous chromosomes same do not influence the distribution of gene pairs on the other chromosome. They separate independently from one another during meiosis and mitosis. Meiosis ये cell division है. Okay, assort in the gametes. तो हम ये बाद में पढ़ेंगे. Okay, so you people can see that I am going so super slow in bio. So there is a reasons behind it. Okay, one of the reasons is that sometimes you people get confused, and second part कि इतना ही basics actually exam में भी आएगा. Okay, चलिए, thank you.